Let's ponder this. Imagine trying not to think about a pink elephant. Chances are this tactic will backfire. The moment the image of a pink elephant springs to mind, it clings stubbornly, refusing to be banished no matter how hard we try to shake it off. The more we attempt to dismiss it, the more tenaciously it sticks around. This analogy beautifully illustrates the challenge of dispelling persistent thoughts through sheer force. Yet, let's twist this analogy into a metaphor reflecting our struggle with life's discontent. Here, the pink elephant symbolizes the underlying dissatisfaction we grapple with, surfacing as various negative emotions such as sadness, stress, anger, or ennui. Paradoxically, the more effort we put into vanquishing these feelings, the more pronounced they become. Could it be that our deep-seated drive to escape dissatisfaction, our quest for happiness and contentment, is precisely what keeps us ensnared in discontent? This introduces us to the paradox of willpower, foundational to what's known as the law of reversed effort, or as philosopher Alan Watts famously dubbed it, the backwards law. According to the backwards law, the more earnestly we chase after something, the more we end up achieving the exact opposite, leaving us more disillusioned than ever. In essence, the harder we strive, the less we attain. In a surprising twist, ceasing our efforts magically lands us right where we wish to be. To escape the metaphorical pink elephant, the counterintuitive solution lies in giving up the fight, allowing our desire to dissolve naturally. Rather than forcefully evicting the elephant from our minds, we let it fade away on its own, simply by not engaging with it. Now, how does the backwards law operate in real life? More intriguingly, how do we acquire what we desire without actively pursuing it? This video delves into the paradoxical essence of the backwards law, exploring the roots of our perpetual dissatisfaction and the path to freeing ourselves from it. What exactly are we seeking? How can we obtain what we desire without the pursuit? This notion appears utterly illogical, particularly in a society that glorifies ambition and the relentless pursuit of goals. While willpower is undoubtedly effective for achieving tangible results, amassing wealth, for instance, or completing a marathon, the backwards law points us toward a deeper yearning, beyond material or physical accomplishments. It offers a direct route to what we ultimately seek, the true treasure that eludes us. But what is this elusive prize? Wealth, love, friendship, a long and healthy life. While these are undoubtedly desirable, they are merely superficial stand-ins for what we truly crave. As the backwards law reveals, the more we chase after such external goals, the further we drift from our genuine desires. In our quest for fulfillment, what do we genuinely pursue? Is it the essence of joy, of happiness? And if this is our goal, how do we encapsulate its true meaning? Can the embrace of love, the accumulation of material prosperity, or other external facets truly quench our thirst for contentment? Alan Watts, with his characteristic insight, challenges us to reconsider our pursuits. He suggests that our struggle to define our deepest desires could stem from two profound reasons. First, consider the possibility that what we yearn for is already within our grasp, as close as the air we breathe, yet as elusive as the wind. How often do we overlook the treasures in our own backyard, searching far and wide for what lies beneath our feet? This notion gently nudges us towards introspection, urging us to peel back the layers of our lives and perhaps discover that what we seek has been ours all along. Second, Watts introduces us to the enigmatic nature of our very selves, proposing that a fundamental mystery cloaks our understanding. This enigma is likened to the inability of a knife to cut itself, a fire to burn itself, or light to illuminate its own source. These vivid analogies beckon us to ponder the limitations of self-awareness. They whisper the profound truth that there are aspects of our being that remain shrouded in mystery, forever out of the reach of our direct perception. This revelation invites us to embark on a journey not outward, but inward, into the depths of our soul, where the answers we seek reside in silent waiting. It prompts us to question the very nature of happiness and fulfillment. Is it possible that the joy we seek is not a destination, but a manner of traveling? In reflecting upon these insights, we are drawn to the realization that happiness perhaps cannot be found in the external, but must be cultivated within. It challenges the notion that material wealth or the affection of others can offer us lasting contentment, urging us instead to find peace and happiness within the tapestry of our own being. Let this be an invitation to you, to all of us, to pause and reflect. What are you truly seeking? Could it be that the journey you embark upon in search of happiness leads back to yourself? And in this journey, could it be that the greatest discovery is not of something new, but a deeper appreciation and understanding of what has always been? This perspective does not just open the door to self-discovery, it also extends a call to action. It beckons us to explore the uncharted territories of our inner landscape, to embrace the mystery of our essence, and to find contentment not in the external, but in the richness of our inner world. As we navigate through life, let us carry with us the curiosity to explore, the courage to question, and the openness to find joy in the simple, the mundane, and the ordinary. For in the end, it may just be that happiness is not about possessing more, but appreciating fully what we already have. This leads to an intriguing question. Is our quest for fulfillment obscured by the very act of searching? Are we chasing after something indefinable? Yet, despite this, why do we persist in our search? This dilemma hints at a profound sense of lacking within us. It's as though we're ensnared in a collective illusion, believing that acquiring external things or altering our circumstances, from accumulating wealth to changing our appearance or environment, will fill the void we feel. The paradox here, often referred to as the backwards law, suggests that our sense of inadequacy intensifies with our discontent. The more we strive to change in order to be satisfied, the further satisfaction eludes us. Consider the aspiration to amass a fortune in the hope it will bring happiness. This goal not only demands immense effort for a taste of fulfillment, but also highlights our current dissatisfaction, emphasizing our distance from the desired state of wealth and contentment. Mark Manson, a best-selling author, eloquently frames this predicament. The act of pursuing something only accentuates its absence in our lives. The more we yearn to be wealthy, the poorer and less worthy we feel, irrespective of our actual financial status. Therefore, raising the financial benchmark for happiness only deepens the sense of inadequacy, leading to increased misery. If the threshold for happiness is significantly lowered, the sense of inadequacy diminishes as the goal becomes more attainable, closer to one's current state. Yet, we often choose to set our sights high, far beyond where we stand, which deepens and prolongs feelings of inadequacy. Imagine this: you're on an endless quest, searching for that elusive more you believe will fill the void inside you. But here's the twist. This very search is what keeps the void alive. Sounds paradoxical, doesn't it? This brings to mind the musings of the German philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer. He explored this puzzle deeply, attributing our never-ending desires to something he called the will to live, or simply the will. Schopenhauer saw this will as an irrational, directionless force, pushing us into a cycle of suffering no earthly pleasure can soothe. Why? Because there's a pathological yearning for more, fueled by an ever-present feeling of lack. Our minds trick us into believing that the present is never enough, that something is missing, even though we can't quite put our finger on what that something is. So we embark on a journey, believing in the mirage of better situations over the horizon. Yet when we arrive, we find the scenery all too familiar. We're still not content. But why is this scenario so common? Consider for a moment the idea that our dissatisfaction isn't about what we have or don't have. Could it be about how we perceive our lives and the narratives we tell ourselves about happiness and fulfillment? What if, instead of running towards the next big thing, we paused? What if we looked around and found beauty in the present, acknowledging that while it might not be perfect, it's ours to experience fully, with all its ups and downs? This perspective isn't about settling for less, but recognizing the richness of the now. It's about understanding that happiness isn't just a destination, but also the journey itself. The real question then becomes, how do we embrace this journey? How do we find contentment in a world that constantly tells us we need more to be happy? Schopenhauer succinctly captures this in his assertion that every intense pleasure is but an illusion, for no fulfilled desire can provide lasting satisfaction. The will, according to him, is the root of our striving and seeking, yet following it only leads to further discontent, since the will itself obstructs our fulfillment. Schopenhauer suggests that true contentment comes from negating the will, which ushers in a serene, desire-free state. Essentially, by ceasing our efforts, we attain what we seek. He illustrates a person who, by not clinging, possesses everything. This individual appears alone, yet is surrounded by many, conducting themselves with ease and efficiency without waste. They engage in no action, finding amusement in the cleverness and ingenuity of others. Everyone seeks happiness, yet there's a person who feels whole in their imperfection. Embracing imperfection leads to a sense of completeness. Accepting solitude brings contentment in being alone. The pursuit of perfection results in recognizing our flaws, and attempting to avoid loneliness only amplifies the feeling of isolation. Welcoming a negative experience paradoxically becomes a positive one, while resisting it doubles the suffering. Alan Watts eloquently illustrates this with a metaphor. In attempting to stay afloat, one sinks, yet by allowing oneself to sink, floating comes naturally. Similarly, the effort to fall asleep can keep one awake, but ceasing to try leads to sleep. Holding one's breath results in loss, but letting it go allows it to continue effortlessly. When we cease striving for happiness, it finds us, for we lack nothing. Abandoning the pursuit of wealth reveals a life of abundance, satisfied with what we have, with every addition being a bonus. The essence of achieving our desires lies in not desiring them, a concept encapsulated by the backwards law. This law is vividly depicted through a Zen story about clarifying cloudy water. Attempting to clear a pond by stirring or removing the sediments by hand is futile. It's only by leaving the water undisturbed that the cloudiness settles and clarity is achieved. Our desires and dissatisfaction cloud our minds, and our efforts to grasp happiness only stir the waters further. True contentment, akin to seeing the pond's floor, emerges when we let our desires settle on their own. Understanding the backwards law doesn't imply we should abandon goals, ambitions, or the pursuit of change. There are countless reasons to seek improvement and not settle for the status quo. However, this principle enlightens us to the reality that happiness isn't found in the pursuit itself, but often in the absence of pursuit. With this insight, we can more frequently experience the blissful state of desiring nothing, embracing life's mysteries not as problems to be solved, but realities to be lived. Thank you for watching.